Okay, we are live. Hi, this is William Ramsey. Welcome to William Ramsey Investigates. On today's show, I have two very special guests. One is a returning guest. We've done shows very recently on a guy, serial killer named Hurd. His name is Todd Wood. He operates Killafornia. He's been on the Walter Bosley channel. I'll put links to that so people can check it out. And then I have a returning guest. It's been a very long time, 6 years. It's hard to believe. But one of the greatest researchers out there from Europe is Patrick from the program to kill YouTube channel, former YouTube channel that was removed for some strange reason. YouTube is very sketchy in its decisions, but also he goes by Love, Field, and Love. So that's what you could have typed in back in the day on YouTube. If you're watching this on Rockfin, Rumble, or X, you'll see his new YouTube channel, and that is at the Deliberate Stranger. And please go subscribe there and check it out. It's still putting out tons of great material, and we're going to cover some of that. I've done shows on Dutroux. I've had Corrine Hutzabout on, who's right in that. She's from Belgium, but it's just part of this larger network. I did a show with Austin Picard, and we was about the Atlanta child murders, but we're like riffing on our kind of knowledge, our shared knowledge, and they're all connected. All of these things that maybe we've seen separately, the Candyman and Omaha, which is Franklin scandal, to Gacy, to what's going on in Detroit, even all the way up to Presidio. These are all like there's weird connections and attachments between figures and people. But like this one is one that I think a lot of people in the U.S. have no idea of this case. This is very, very dark. And I would not have any kids listening in the background. And if you treasure, sleep, getting 8 hours of sleep, don't listen to this because we have some very dark material about the Zandvoort case, which overlaps. And it's around the time a lot of things are happening on the internet and communications and Dutroux. But both of these guys can talk more about this. So Todd and Patrick, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. So for people who may not have heard the Zandvoort case, maybe you guys can talk about your research recently, and then we can kind of get into some of the details about the Zandvoort case that people may not know about.
Okay, Patrick, take it away, my friend.
Yeah, for the last year, I've done a lot of independent research into Dutch child trafficking cases, and one of those were the Zandvoort child porn case, and also the Warwick Spinks case. There's an excellent documentary, Boys Business, from an UK television broadcaster. It's from the late 1990s, excellent documentary. The Zandvoort child porn case was actually about a man named G. Ulrich from Germany, and he had a lover named Leo van Gasselt, who was a very wealthy, influential man. And they installed one of the first bulletin boards where you can actually purchase child pornography on the internet for a small fee. You get links to downloading child pornography videos and photographs. And it was actually a global ring that was providing these images and videos to clientele all around the world, from Israel, America, UK, Russia, Australia, the UK already said, Netherlands, of course, Belgium, almost everywhere in the world.
Right, like it's incredible. So it's this network, and it happened around the time of Dutroux, and also a huge case was Wonderland too, right? Which was like a huge bust. Like they got a lot of information from that. This is very timely. This is like it comes up to the Epstein network, which they like to portray as teen girls, but it got younger than that. And even the earlier case, they had Epstein was abusing a 14-year-old girl, and they raised up her age to get a lesser sentence. I think it's something like that. But so these are young kids, and this networking is taking place. And we know Dutroux's moving around a lot too, right? Like he's not just stuck in Belgium.
Yeah.
No, there were a lot of names found, important names of customers, also some celebrities, and it seems there are like enormous connections between these individuals, like John Stanford from Spartacus International magazine, which was like a homosexual magazine that you could like read, and you had like exclusive places all around the world to have sex with men. But also, it seems to be there was like code language in the magazine that also suggests that there were messages to also have sex with young children. And these names are all like connected with each other. You have Warwick Spinks. You have those people here in Zandvoort. G. Ulrich, Robbie van der Planken.
And Zandvoort, for people who don't know, it's basically a beach town west of Amsterdam in the Netherlands, right?
Matt, Patrick, in your opinion, is this particular network, is it localized, or how big did it get? How vast was it? Is there connections to the Epstein stuff, like William said, or is it larger?
I think it was actually larger. It was like one of the first organizations and crimes that were perpetrated. And the exact same thing with John David Norman, who was like active in the 60s, 70s. It was like incredible that they had like such a huge index, big index cards, like between 50,000 and 100,000, and they're all vanished. I mean, those are like a lot of customers, and some of them are very wealthy and
federal judges, right?
Yeah, for example.
Yeah. For people who may not know who John David Norman is, would you kind of give them a brief explainer?
John David Norman, his early life is a little bit unknown, but let's say early 70s, there was the case of Elmer Wayne Henley and Dean Corll, and the mainstream media also always portrayed that there was no connection, but there are definitely connections directly and indirectly that suggest there was an association between them. There's an excellent
Corll was known as the Candyman, right?
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to say that The Clown and the Candyman from Jacqueline Bynon is an excellent documentary.
That's Norman right here for people. This is
and also, John David Norman apparently had like a connection, of course, then with Dean Corll, and then late 1970s he went to Chicago, and guess what? We had John Wayne Gacy, and the former co-worker of Gacy, Philip Paskey, was associated with John David Norman,
as well as the Oakland child murders, right?
Yes. I forgot that name, Francis D. Sheldon. I think you're also gonna hear a lot of new revelations about that individual, who came from North Fox Island. He fled the country because they found actually like the same circumstances with Epstein Island. And he went to, of all places in the world, he went to Amsterdam, to the Netherlands.
Right. And who built the runway on North Fox Island?
I think it was the grandfather of John Benet Ramsey.
Ding, ding, ding.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's crazy. All crazy. It's all crazy.
Wow.
And I know another insane fact. I know that from George from CAFDEF.
Yeah, me too.
No, I know another fact from George from CAFDEF. He actually found out that the first victim, John Wayne Gacy murdered, that he actually also acknowledged, was the stepbrother of Paul Benassi.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
And that's all fact. You can look it up for yourself. Findthegrave.com. You can all find that for yourself. It's just incredible, man. These things are not coincidence, I think.
For people who don't know, Benacci was one of the lead people abused in Franklin at Boys Town, right? So he's on tapes. Conspiracy of Silence. I've talked to Tim Tate probably 3 or 4 times. I haven't actually covered Conspiracy of Silence with Tate, believe it or not, but his other work, like he's a prolific author. But those were some of the early internet videos you could watch that have all been censored out.
Yep.
Benacci and Boner and the girl whose name I can't remember, but like talking about the Franklin cover-up. So this is a global thing. This isn't even the states are networked, like the events in Gacy's moving around and stuff. So is Aquino and this guy Norman, but it's international. If you have this guy Sheldon going to Netherlands, which the Zandvoort is like basically a 30-minute drive from in Amsterdam or something.
Mhm.
And
Also, excuse me. Also, Warwick Spinks from the UK also moved to the Netherlands and went to do there his child brothels. Also, Gerry Ulrich from Germany went to Amsterdam. Also, Jan David Stamford from
Mm.
Spark International magazines went from the UK to Amsterdam. It was like a heaven for liberal feelings and also pedophilia.
and
Also,
some of
are
and
you?
one of the things that's interesting about Zandvoort that will do is similar to Epstein and some of these other cases is that the authorities aren't the drivers of it. Like it's like almost like citizen journalism. People
Mhm.
are the ones doing the work, and the guy said, "Well, all these people are getting paid and they're adults, so there's no crimes." But that's not the case because in Zandvoort they had kids and really young. This one girl who was abducted, who your D Kuiper, I can't say her name. Shoot, but
It's also crazy. I know a few Dutch cases that the parents actually recognize their children in the Zandvoort porn collection.
Mm.
I also know a French serial killer. His name is Emile Louis, a alleged serial killer. Guess what? Some of his victims, and we're talking about the 70s, 80s, photographs of his victims were found in the Zandvoort child porn. That's crazy. How is that
Yeah.
possible? We're talking about the 70s, 80s. How are
Right.
those pictures of those girls in that collection?
Yeah. Hey, Patrick, is there like a Satanism, satanic angle to all this?
I definitely think so. I think especially the most influential people are really are in power, are really pulling the strings. There are really
Mhm.
no things that we don't know about energy, about Satanism, about
Mhm.
occultism, about numerology.
Right.
But
Now,
for a majority, don't think I don't think so for majority, but I think a select group are really in tune with that stuff. Yeah.
right. I'm asking, here in America, it was disclosed a project called MK Often, which is
Yeah.
the government's experimentation into like ritual magic and occultism
Yep.
and stuff like that. And I was just kind of wondering if Europe had a equivalent to MK Often.
Maybe like the Tavistock Institute, something like that.
Yeah.
the Nazis definitely did. They had the Anunnaki. They were into all kinds of mythical stuff and those kind of
Mhm.
researches and things like that. And I mean, Hitler. Yeah, this is pre-war. We can go into pre-war stuff, but I know I'm familiar with some of that stuff, like Hannison and these characters,
Mhm.
and the Nazis in general were, but maybe not as much as state
Mhm.
If
interest.
we go if we go back for a segment, are you guys familiar with a YouTube channel called The Conspiracy Files with that guy Colin Browan? No,
No.
Oh,
conspiracy videos. He has really like a really big reach, a lot of subscribers, a lot of comments.
Mm.
He actually made already, but he is now in post production about the documentary about the Franklin scandal, and he actually interviewed like for 30 seconds, 1 minute, Larry King.
wow. Is this
Oh.
the guy right here?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
Oh,
And
okay. And Larry King, he working at some church now.
I believe so. Yeah, some
Oh
religious
man.
institution. Yeah,
Yeah, I think I saw Jay Dyer interview him.
I
but
think that
I think it's gonna be released at the end of this year. But he also was making a project about Francis D. Sheldon, a 6-part upcoming series, and I also uh, joined the team for like 2 days. We went to Amsterdam and we visited child brothels and all those old locations to do research. And I also think there are going to be really much revelations from that series. He also went to India to interview the former people who were abused by Francis D. Sheldon. So, and there's not a lot of stuff about this person, Francis D. Sheldon. There are news articles, but not really like big documentaries or a big overall summary of the facts. So, I'm really looking forward to that.
interesting. This guy's done some work on the smiley face killers. He interviewed some of the
Yep.
people in Austin, so I am familiar with this guy. It just
Mm.
didn't come to mind right off the top.
He also handled a lot of Dutch cases, the Zandvoort case, Warwick Spinks, the
Wow.
Roundhouse in the Netherlands. That's also before the First and Second World War, where there were like satanic rituals in the Netherlands, in a big, how do you say, royal
Castle?
family. No, the royal family was
Mm.
probably involved.
Wow.
Oh, so that's interesting.
But there's a lot. I think at the end of the year, we're going to see a lot of good stuff coming. And also, now I see a screenshot of John David Norman. I managed actually to found the original news broadcasting of John David Norman. That's the video, yeah. So we really have now at least 2 days from 1971 in August, the original news broadcasting. So you also have to check that out.
Oh.
This guy was arrested, went to jail. He had like this whole files. Like, didn't he have like the files were called Odyssey, and the Zandvoort was called Apollo, right? So this
Yeah,
Greek mythos that even goes back, which ties into Pizzagate, because they had this statue of Antinous, right? This optimal.
there's definitely a lot of
male.
symbolism. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can see all that stuff, and that the guy who was the pizza owner, pizza shop, Comet Pizza, had that guy, the Antinous, as his avatar. So these guys like Greek history because Greeks were into sexuality or pederasty or whatever.
Plato.
But you guys never heard of a character named Warwick Spinks, right?
No, I haven't.
Vaguely. Can you talk about Warwick Spinks?
There is a journalist from The Guardian, and he wrote excellent articles. Nick Davies wrote like a 4-5 pieces articles about Warwick Spinks. There's not a lot of information known about his early childhood, but he definitely went to places like the Piccadilly Circus, which is like a place where young people were congregate and were picked up to be abused and be prostituted. And later he went to the Netherlands, and he had like at least 2 brothels. And in the Netherlands, it was actually allowed to have like kids from 16, at least 16, already perform and do sexual things. So he was really in deep in with child brothels back then. But it was crazy, man. It was so insane in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, how they looked upon that. It was really, unfortunately, it was really the place to have sex with children coming to the Netherlands and to Amsterdam. It's hard to imagine, but it really was.
And the production of child porn too, right? So it's all
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, Amsterdam and Denmark, the Netherlands and Denmark were one of the big places to go for child pornography.
Before pre-internet, right?
Yeah,
and there was all Amsterdam was always seen as what, liberal or LGBT friendly, LGBTQ friendly, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, wow.
No, also about Warwick Spinks, he actually only served like a short sentence, late 1990s, and he was early released after I think 18 months or 3 years. He was released, and now he's. Excuse me.
I was going to ask you, did he make a deal?
Actually, he had like a prior release, and he actually fled the country. So they did not really do anything to purchase him, to catch him again. But let me say that he actually now is like a very wealthy man. He owns several properties. He also has a website that he is renting out apartments in Czech Republic to engage in homosexual sex. But I think that's also really cover for having child sex with children and things like that. It's really insane, man. It's incredible that these people are still walking around, and I've even found pictures of him just celebrating and on big luxurious boats, drinking, eating the best food there is. It's crazy. It's incredible, man.
They're on the internet. I'm looking at him. Like, here he is. There's actually, I don't know what website he is, but he is drinking some wine here. Wow, just like a lifelong international pedophile. Crazy.
It's a sick world we live in.
Yeah, this is not good. But like, so these guys are moving around. This is happening in an environment where kids are disappearing. that there's pictures of them, that also there's like infant rape, like there's like in the files, in the Zandvoort files and in the research, they're talking about like not children, but like infant intercourse, right? Have you heard that?
About sorry, the last thing, sorry.
Like baby, like you can rape babies, basically.
Yeah, to my knowledge, it was one of the first cases that actually broke out that people were raping babies, yeah, young children. I mean, like newborn babies. I mean, before that, I think were not really comprehending that and really acknowledging that that was happening. So it was really one of the big cases, one of the big child porn rings that was uncovered, yeah, back then, late 1990s, yeah. It was all, like you said, in the True area. The True started in 1996, and a lot of these characters, including John Stamford, he was arrested in 1995, and also Gary Ulrich and those others were all arrested around that time, between 1995 and 2000, yeah. So it also looked like there was like a cleanup operation to apprehend some of these people. And I think the people that were arrested were also probably the people that had a lot of stuff to blackmail other people. Think about it.
Right. So the blackmail was going on back then too. And I mean, you can just, I mean, yeah, they had leverage on people. So they're having leverage on these people. When you're researching Zandvoort and some of these other stuff, Dutro, do you see a blackmail component?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
So
Of course.
people are getting filmed and people.
Yes, yes. There's something called the pink ballots here in the Netherlands and in Belgium, of course. And there were like private parties with high influential people, and they were brought in prostitutes, and later also prostitutes from minor prostitutes, and have sex with children, and then photographing them and making videos and then blackmailing them. But that's all a common fact. I mean, some people say, "Oh, it's all BS, it's all conspiracy," but there are really things coming out even since the 1950s, 1960s that these things were occurring. So I really hope that people are more understanding about these.
They had pink and blue ballets, right? So they had, if you like little girls, the pink ones, and then the blue for little boys, right? So I assume
I only heard about the pink ballots, but I think you're guessing right. Your guess is definitely right.
I thought I came because I was talking to Corrine recently, Corrine Nuts about. So I think I came across some of her stuff. She was researching this kind of stuff. But there has to have been a component about Epstein too. Like it's not just we just hear of the girls came forward, but there may have been other things going on. I know for a fact that in Virginia Giuffre's biography, which was in the Ghislaine Maxwell court case, she had her full bio. She said Epstein and Ghislaine came to her and said, "We want you to have a baby, and then we're going to keep the baby, no question asked." They made her that offer, which is really should be terrifying because that was just one instance. Like, what's the other stuff that was going on? Like, wow. So these people are both very dark. Like,
right
in the news. I mean, this kind of stuff is happening. Like,
right. I mean, and they just re-interviewed her, right?
She's supposedly in Texas in a new prison. She's out of the New York thing. So.
The dormitory. She's is she in a standard prison? Because it seems like any prison she would go to at this point would be a downgrade from the prison she was in. You know?
Yeah. I think they had her in a minimum security somewhere in New York. Isn't that right?
It was basically a women's dormitory. I mean, she got lots of perks. Lots of perks.
Do you guys remember the Natalie Holloway case back in 2005?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I followed that on programtokill.net.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
No, there is like an alternative suspect. I'm not going to mention his name, but he also made some posts from his social media that he's actually alleging that Jeffrey Epstein was also back then on that island doing his things. And that alternative suspect was also like approached by Amazon and Prime and all those big news broadcastings to make a documentary, but he never did it. But
Mhm.
it is interesting. I think there's also a link between that. Between there's so much human trafficking on the island of Aruba and Curacao and Bonaire, all those islands. So I think there's also definitely we should also do a podcast on that one time. The Nellie Holloway case. It's still ongoing, I think.
Yeah, I would. That'd sound great.
There are too much cases to discuss with each other. I think I did almost over 100 cases now on my website and my YouTube video series. So it's
And
just crazy.
it gets bigger and bigger. I mean, I just gave
Yep.
I like 2 or 3.
No, it's just a shame, man, that they really deleted everything, terminated everything last year, just out of the blue.
Yeah, what? I mean, what? Tell everybody what happened there.
I don't know. I just like actually the worst week of my life. I worked 2 jobs. I quit one job, and then days later, I was let go of the other job, so I was unemployed. And I had like an eye infection also, and then out of the blue on August 1, I tried to log in my account, and it was terminated. And I tried everything, messaged everything. I went on Twitter. I asked for help. Unfortunately, it's still terminated, and their excuse was you're showing child pornography in these videos, and we have to let you go.
Incredible. So it's such a loss. Like, I never thought I'd lose my channels. I think I'm on my like 6th channel, but like I never thought I'd be censored on YouTube, especially like I'm so tame. It's just
it was really like I was really like I'm not gonna say suicidal, of course, but really like heavily depressed because I was doing this for 14 years.
Yeah,
I had like almost 30,000 subscribers, 6.5 million views, between 30 and 50,000 comments.
right.
So much engagement and so many positive people who were commenting and sending me messages and really appreciating the hard work that I'm doing, and all the people that I was subscribed on, I also lost. So I also had to memorize all the people that I had subscribed on and had to build everything new. But I'm so happy that I mirrored every video already on platforms like Rumble and BitChute and Odyssey and the Internet Archive. So if I didn't done that, I was really screwed. Yeah.
Right. I'm really happy you did too, because there's a few of those videos I used in my research.
Yeah.
Patrick, you are like a critical component of the global research community, believe it or not. I don't know if you intended that when you started Program to Kill, but like...
No, I was only 19 years old when I started. I was doing way different things back then.
Let me just say this. Anybody who wants to get into the kind of research that William, Patrick, and I do, programtokill.net, that's the place to start. That's how you get your foot in the door doing this research. That website is like the holy grail. That's like taking Dave McAllen's work and going to infinity and beyond with it.
Yeah, thanks, man. I've done really a lot of work. I'm like a one-man army. I'm trying to do everything by myself. Only like doing a podcast or sharing information and put in a video I share with others. But I'm really doing all these productions by myself and try to handle it.
The other thing is like you're the counter argument to all the satanic panic purveyors. Because so many things is like provable Satanism. These people are into the occult. It's not like you can't just dismiss this because you have it's encyclopedic amounts of information regarding the occult. Yeah.
And the MK Often stuff, and you have even stronger argument now since that stuff was released, considering they got results from the ritual magic stuff that they were doing.
Mm-hmm.
They literal scientific results they got.
What I'm also most proud of all this research and the video series is I'm only like presenting evidence and statements from other people. I'm not really speaking into the microphone and say you have to believe this and you have to take my word on this. No, I'm just showing old news broadcasting, old news clippings, old people witness statements, things like that. Like really, what I see as sort of proof that these things are happening.
Oh yeah.
And the
Yeah.
cover-ups are just incredible. And it's involving the authorities. So many of these things involve authorities, whether it's Franklin or everything.
Mhm.
It's corruption, political corruption, just like Zandvoort
Mhm.
or Dutroux. Just
Yeah.
like, I mean, so it's a global phenomenon.
Right. And I mean, it's also like it's an experiment happening at the same time, it seems like.
Yes, I'm also on the belief of that. I think McGowan said that most of these cases are definitely used as sort of Operation Phoenix in the home country of where it's happening.
Right, right. Well, so I know I just talked about MK often. So in science, you start in an experiment like that, you start in close quarters. Like they did their experiments at Fort Avery, but seeing that they had results from there, the logical next step is to upscale.
Mm-hmm.
So once you upscale, that's when you get your Operation Chaos,
Gladio.
yeah, Gladio, and everything like that.
No, they're really smart people. We shouldn't underestimate them. They're really devious
Mm-hmm.
with figuring this all out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's a test case, and it's almost like there's some kind of a Wizard of Oz behind the curtain, managing this and deciding, oh, this guy's got to go. We have to kill this. We have to put this story. We have to spike this story, promote this, minimize this, and then somebody using the information. Like somebody had that information. Maybe that the same thing that's just happened in Epstein, where like these these people were supposed to reveal the Epstein turned into ring wraiths, and then maybe have all the information.
Yeah.
Like people are saying, there's a commentator, Alex Craner, who's a geopolitical analyst, who said that what may have happened is that Trump and his squad got all the compromise and said, this is too good to not use. And now you're seeing kind of results of that compromise in the national media in the US, because some of these people who are going after Trump now don't seem to be going after him with such great intensity, you know, like,
right,
wow,
right.
he's got the goods. And
Right.
that's probably what Zandvoort was, right?
I heard that too. And like also you got to take into consideration like the ramifications of blowing the lid off something like that. Right?
Yeah.
Like you find out next thing you know, you find out like the Mahmoud Hind bin Shari or whatever his name is at Saudi Arabia. You know, you find,
Mohammed bin Salman, you know.
yeah, you find out that dude's like gay or something like that, and all the progress he tried to introduce to that state just goes out the door overnight.
Right. So
Right?
their private image is totally different than their public image, right?
Right, exactly. So the ramifications of like releasing all this stuff may be huge.
Huge.
Let me ask you guys, what do you think? Do you think Jeffrey Epstein is dead or alive?
Dead.
Well,
I think he had to die, and there's been 2 autopsies. So I think that his family did an independent autopsy.
Yeah,
So
I think he was dead.
I do remember seeing those photographs with that guy lying on the stretcher, and he didn't really look like Jeffrey Epstein. So that was really like a red flag, right?
Right. That's what Dr. Joseph Farrell thinks too. He thinks that he may be alive. All I know is that video footage that they released, that footage is crap because it's 2 different videos spliced together.
Yeah, it's total trash.
Yeah.
I mean, it just shows that it's a cover-up. A cover-up is going on, you know? There's too much information. I think that Mordor would fall. The great seeing eye of Sauron would just like fall down if they released the real Epstein file, because it would involve so many people that we know. Like, you don't see there's.
Well, and you know, Epstein's whole thing too. Like, people don't talk about the dude was basically a eugenicist.
Yeah.
Right. He wanted to create an army of little Epsteins, the same way Elon wants to create an army of little Elons. You know.
He's done it. Elon's already done it. There's like 15 of his kids somewhere around or whatever. So
yeah, I guess we can call that a little army.
Yeah, wow. So, but Spinks, for people who don't know, there's like snuff films involved in this whole thing. So it's not just like baby raping type stuff. There's like these kids are murdered eventually. I mean, that's the Cooper one that you had on your page, is that she ends up, they find her body like like 2 weeks, 6 months after she disappeared, right? What's her name? Yeah,
Katrien de Kuiper.
Katrien de Cooper. Yeah, this
Yep.
girl.
Yeah. I mean, you
They
think they
are.
were sacrificing people on the island?
On Epstein Island?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can bet your money that some shady things happen there, yeah. And you're on an island, so nobody can hear you, and
Right.
you can drop off everything with a boat, right?
Right. Well, not only that, if you have an incinerator, it only takes 48 hours.
What I also found creepy is Ghislaine Maxwell, that she had like she could dive underwater with how do you say submarine? She had like
Right. She had a submersible submarine. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And helicopters. She was really the brains of the whole thing. Like, it wasn't, Epstein was kind of a front,
right?
But really the sophisticated person who was intelligent.
Don't you also think a little bit that those people are also like the scapegoats of this whole show?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
These are huge networks. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
All these like pedophile networks are huge.
Because you remember, of course, Ghislaine Maxwell, her father also died under mysterious circumstances, right?
Right. He's connected to the Mossad, right?
I believe so, yeah. But it seems like these people are already like blackmailed already with sort of entrapment in these sick games they're playing. So it wasn't like coincidental that they were being chosen. I think they were already like being
they've got dirt on them, right? So they have dirt on Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell too, right?
Right. And Ghislaine was really into Atlantis, apparently. So.
One of the interesting things about Maxwell, which I think that both Epstein and Ghislaine were involved in, is the father was heavily involved in intel, but he wasn't just involved in one intel. He was involved in the CIA, MI6, KGB, and the Mossad. So these guys are playing like a high-level, high-stakes game of intel, kind of playing other people, other intel agencies off each other. Robert Maxwell, his real name is actually Abraham Laszlo. That's his real name. Robert Maxwell was working with the KGB to get Jews to come to Israel. He was working with MI6 on his publishing thing. MI6 financed Robert Maxwell's purchase of Pergamum Press, and he also was tinkering around with the CIA. He was trying to get information from Prescott Bush, like literally Daddy, Grandpa Bush. They're asking questions about Robert Maxwell. So he's in these high level, elite families and all the stuff like that. He was, and obviously when he died mysteriously off the Canary Islands, literally off the coast of Africa, he got a funeral with the head of Mossad and like 5 prime ministers of Israel. So, and buried in I think it's the Mount of Olives. This is a very coveted place to be buried. He was involved in also Dimona and the Vanunu affair and all this stuff. He was involved in so many things. Holy smokes. Mm-hmm. He's a real piece of shit too, but he is a remarkable character. Anyway, I mean, but who knows what he's involved in? These guys, what you realize is these guys are just collecting information and dirt on people constantly. Like, it's just part of like their breathing. They breathe, they eat, and they collect blackmail or try to get people blackmailed. People who aren't in that environment, they don't see it. They don't know, So it's just a function of power. And these kids are probably, I mean, what's really sick. It reminds me of the scene from The Godfather, where I think it was the second Godfather, where they blackmailed the senator, remember? They killed a prostitute. And there's blood everywhere, and the senator's like, I don't even know what happened.
Yeah, here's Robert Duvall pretending to be your best friend in the whole world.
We can cover this up, buddy.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, he's just parroting how great the the family is. The Godfather is in Congress, right? So like, how different is it from reality? Like, when this girl gets killed, whatever. De Kuyper or Dayart or one of them gets killed in the presence of one of these powerful people, and then they own it. Maybe that's where they got the freaking blueprint, is from The Godfather, right?
Right.
So,
yeah.
Shall we switch over to another case? Like,
let's do it.
Yeah, I know that you're really into the Herb Bellmeister case, and as an employee of a thrift store, I am too very interested in this case. So yeah, take it away.
Yeah, which of you saw that new Hulu series about her Baumeister? It's like a three-part series.
I haven't seen it yet.
No, I haven't
Oh,
seen
it's
it.
very good. It's with
Okay.
one of the, I can't say really accomplice. I think it's maybe accomplice, yeah. Mark Goodyear.
Mhm.
It was the first time that he was actually before the camera giving an interview. Uh, Before that time, he was always in black. You couldn't see, only hear him. But he made some really disturbing revelations. My personal view of the Baumeister case is actually that that estate was actually used as some kind of mm, let's say safe house, or like a sort of kill room, a sort of kill house to just get people there, murder them, bury them in the woods, putting them, setting them on fire, and perform rituals.
Mm.
Wow.
It's
So
a
is
Fox
this what you're
Hollow.
talking about? The Fox Hollow
Yeah,
Murders Playground
yes,
of a
it is.
serial killer? Okay, it's on Apple
You,
TV.
there's also like a lot of weird paranormal activity at Fox Hollow Farm. There are like countless of people claiming that they saw ghosts, heard noises, still to this day. So there's
Okay.
definitely some weird paranormal activity in
Mhm.
that area. But I read like all the books on her Baumeister. I tried to see every documentary, tried to read all the blogs on the internet, things like that. And to my opinion, um, that family, her Baumeister had children and a wife. That family was not really much home there. Most eyewitness statements actually said that everything was dusty. The
Mhm.
house was like completely filled with junk. With
Mm.
everything was just with junk. They also owned this thrift store and were selling
Right.
property. So maybe that's not that weird that they were collecting things.
That was a Southern thrift, right?
I don't know the difference. Just a thrift store, Southern Thrifts. What do you
So that
mean?
yeah, there's like a whole bunch of thrift stores. Like I work at Goodwill, and
Mhm.
there's Salvation Army, and like then there's Southern Thrift. I think it was a Southern Thrift.
It could be. It could be.
Yeah.
But there are like really much indications that he was part of a satanic cult, and there were actually it was also a very wealthy neighborhood. The Hamilton County is not like the poor and needy who live there.
Hmm.
Wow.
What
Yeah,
part? This was Indiana, right?
Yes, it is. Yeah,
What
it
part
was
of Indiana was it?
Hamilton County.
Yeah, but
Hamilton.
where is that located? Is that close to like Indianapolis or?
It is in
Okay.
Indianapolis. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
North Indianapolis.
Okay. Got it.
Let's see.
But he was like he was moving gay bars, but he also traveled a lot, didn't he? Like
Yes, he
he
did for the thrift stores. Yeah, he
yeah,
was
yeah.
traveling around in a car.
Mm.
But there are so many contradictions in the official narrative, and also the fact that Herb Baumeister was an avid videographer. He was always videotaping everything.
Hmm.
There were found like spots in walls at the swimming pool where he was supposedly strangling people, where a camera could also be placed there. So he was actually making snuff videos.
Oh.
Wow. And
Yeah,
drowning him too. So kind of like a
yeah.
smiley face killer.
And
And
also the fact that he was taking the victims back to the woods and burying them and also putting them on fire is also something satanic. He
now
burned
what,
bones.
was there a bunch of mannequins uh,
Yes, that
by
was
the
him. Yeah,
pool?
yeah.
Oh my god, that's
And also,
creepy.
I think it was you can find pictures. I have the pictures on my forum from the Satanic Dan, Anton LaVey. He had exactly the same thing. He also had like everywhere mannequins dressed up. So I definitely see like a correlation between her Baumeister and some kind of satanic influence, because Anton LaVey was also doing that.
So was Jeffrey Dahmer. Total had
Yeah,
mannequins, right?
exactly. Yeah,
He had
that
mannequins
crazy
of
guy
dude.
also put a mannequin in his bed with his grandmother living downstairs.
Oh.
Crazy.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But also, we know, of course, her Baumeister allegedly committed suicide. He was found dead under under really weird circumstances, with a
Mhm.
bunch of dead birds
Right. And
flying around him. And also, the gun was never found, or supposedly was found. There are conflicting statements about that. And guess what? They never found the videotapes. A police officer that saw him in the car before he allegedly committed suicide saw a bunch of videotapes. And the moment he committed suicide, everything was gone in his car.
Wow. So a total cover up. Wow, that's wild. Because he went on the run. If I
Yeah,
remember, he was found eventually in Canada, right?
he was, yeah. And also later, at least one of his brothers also committed suicide or was found dead. So
And
it's
that was the
also,
one was that in the hot tub?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I read that in my Gowns book, yeah.
Yeah.
There are
Wow.
also, I think it was Brad Baumeister. There are also conflicting statements about that. If he was really found like that, or it was like accidental death or a suicide, things like that. They're always a really bit sketchy about these details. But it's definitely a fact that when her Baumeister was found dead, also other family members of the Baumeister family were found dead. You can also see that with the case with Leonard Lake. His brother also vanished. Everybody's saying Leonard Lake killed his own brother, but I'm also thinking there could also be some other things with that.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard
Yeah.
Lake was, I think, also controlled from Wilseyville, California, in 1985. Leonard Lake, a Charles Singh case. I
Right,
think,
right.
I think there's a lot of blackmail and a lot of pressure put on these people. So I think if you also kill the brother of someone, you also have them, of course, more in control out of fear of more deaths in the family, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So Leonard Lake was a guy with Richard Ng, and they don't even know how many people he abducted. But he came out of the military, didn't he? I think he was in Vietnam or
Yep.
like Phoenix program or something
Mm-hmm.
crazy like that.
No, Leonard Lake was in Vietnam, yeah, and
Yeah.
they claimed he never saw any combat, but
Right. He's a
the
radar operator.
yep, but I think differently because I read his. He really had like a nervous breakdown, a psychosis. But the things that he wrote and the things that we know that he saw, I think he definitely saw some combat, or they experimented with him with hallucinogenic drugs, things like that.
Yeah.
That's what
It's
they did to Heidnik. Heidnik is in
Yeah,
Program to Kill. He
no,
is a MK Ultra victim. Like I would like that guy.
but
He
that's
went back to Philly. Yeah.
That Kaczynski, like
Right.
Jimmy Bulger.
And these stories, they don't right, Bulger, Whitey Bulger. They
Yeah,
don't get
like,
the details of it. People like, oh, Kaczynski went in for some kind of behavioral training. No, he had literal the whole kind of treatment with the wires in the head,
yeah.
and they graded him, and they
Also,
did
that
it for
other
3 years.
Arthur Shawcross.
Shawcross,
Also,
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He openly admits being a Phoenix program
yeah.
killer. Yeah.
Let's go back to, like you said, Gary Heidnik. He was stationed in Baumholder, Germany, and guess who was also stationed in
Jeffrey
Baumholder,
Dahmer.
Germany? Jeffrey
Dahmer,
Dahmer.
about 20 minutes away, right?
Yeah, but also Albert de Salvo, the alleged Boston Strangler.
Right.
So we had at least three
Also in
serial
Program
killers
to
all
Kill. These
sent
are
down to the same military
Always.
base, and at least one serial killer case was being proven there was MK Ultra experimentation.
Right,
So
right.
who doesn't say Jeffrey Dahmer and Albert de Salvo also had some experimentation upon them?
Right. And of course, there's speculation that Dahmer may have been connected to the Hand of Death. And
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
Guess what? Dahmer always said vehemently he denied being raped, being sexually abused by anyone. He only admits it one time that he was sexually abused by a street priest named John Paul Ranieri. John Paul
Process
Ranieri was associated with the Son of Sam cult.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a former process member from the Son of Sam cult went to Wisconsin, to Milwaukee, and raped Jeffrey Dahmer, who later became a serial killer.
Right. But I believe Ranieri raped Dahmer back.
Yes, he raped Dahmer in, I think, 1990, in Thanksgiving Day, 1990.
Yeah. Yeah. Something with a candle. We don't have to go into
exactly,
details. Yeah.
No, but it's crazy, man. If I really put all these things on paper and read it out loud, I think you will fall from your chair.
Yeah, no, it's I call it this. Everybody's connected, and it's this worldwide occult criminal network. I call it the spider's web.
Yep.
because of all the interconnecting strands.
Yeah, it's like a spider's web. It's a good
Did you
analogy.
guys read the book Eye of the Chicken Hawk by Simon Dovey?
I did.
That's a great book. That's
It's
also
great.
a really good book.
If you can find Simon Dovey and his contact information, send it to me.
I
It's
also
obviously a
tried.
pseudonym.
I tried,
No, it's a
but
pseudonym.
I did found his website, right? His website is something called Hotstarnet or something.
Let me see if I can find it.
I have a link on my website, but we definitely should reach out to him. It will be incredible to interview that guy. I have some correspondence on Twitter, I think, with him. Yeah, I have his Twitter account.
Yeah, no, that's an incredible book.
Yeah, Dahmer has always sort of interested me, just because during his sanity hearing, he claimed he was born in the wrong time. He wished he was an Aztec warrior.
Yep.
Yeah. So one of the things I research is the methodology of human sacrifice, and the thing that the 4-Pi has in common with like Dahmer and the Hand of Death. It's always the same methodology of human sacrifice, which is heart extraction and heart consumption.
No, they always try to downplay the role of Jeffrey Dahmer into occultism and Satanism, that it was just dabbling. But I think that's complete BS, really. If you only looked at this house environment and the things that he did, you could say this guy was definitely in tune with some other things than just dabbling with things.
And Anthony Costa, he's also a heart extractor.
Anthony Costa, no, I never heard.
They call him the Cape Cod cannibal. And
Nope.
It's interesting because Costa, Hurd, and Baker all spent time in the Haight-Ashbury in the 60s and 70s.
Like Charles Manson.
Right, exactly. And Dana and I are one of our theories is that they're all 4-Pi.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a lot to take in. Crazy
Yeah,
stuff.
it's really crazy.
About these stories, they just overlook. The national media overlooks so many of these details. Yeah.
There's also a correlation, an association, I think, between Herb Baumeister and a guy named Larry Eiler.
Yeah. I've done a show on Eiler, Eyler. He was in that neighborhood. Eiler was working. Kolarek was the author who wrote the book about her. I've
Great
had her on my
female
show.
journalist.
Yeah. Jira Lynn Kolarek, I think.
Yep. Also, Larry Eiler, and not a lot of people know that. Larry Eiler actually had an accomplice, and his name was Robert David Little, and he was actually a university professor, and he was acquitted. Unbelievable.
Yeah, no. It is unbelievable. And they were doing dark stuff too. And they were smart enough to move jurisdictions too.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
So was Jeffrey Dahmer. Like he moved out, he was in Milwaukee, but I think his last 4 or 5 killings were Chicago, right? So
when I was working at Food Lion 20 plus years ago, one of my coworkers actually went to a Milwaukee Bucks basketball game with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
How did that connection happen?
They were working together.
Oh, okay. You work at the chocolate factory or whatever?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Did you know the timeline? Do you know the specific timeline? Which year?
No, I have no idea because I was a young know-nothing.
Oh.
And I didn't know anything about all this, and he just was bragging sort of about it, and I kind of didn't think anything of it.
No, I also think they also tried to portray Jeffrey Dahmer as some kind of lone guy, some lone nut, some lone serial killer, just a pathetic guy who needed some human interaction. That's why he killed people, to own them and beat them. Mm-hmm. But if you make like the simple question to yourself, like if this guy was such a loner and such a nobody, how did he convince all those people to come to his apartment and have some kind of charisma, some kind of really personality that people would join his company? Mm-hmm. Nobody's answering that. People are saying, yeah, he gave them $50, he gave them $100, and they went with him for the photographs and watching videos, things like that. Mm-hmm. I think that's all.
Yeah. I think they also leave out that he was a known member of the LGBT community. Like
Yeah,
people knew he was gay,
exactly.
and that's what he did.
Right.
Yeah.
And another interesting thing is like his obsession with The Exorcist 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. He'd go into a trance anytime the Gemini killer, like that, the whole concept of Gemini that pops up constantly. You know, you had Wayne Williams, the Atlanta Child Murders, his
Yes, you have
his
Danny
music
Rowling.
group, Gemini, right? Danny Rowling. You have this new Dexter series that has a Gemini killer in it. And then you have William Peter Blatty himself, who was a psychological warfare expert who
Yep.
wrote The Exorcist and The Exorcist 3 name Legion. You know, and he also worked for the CIA. So
Definitely some programming subliminal messages into that movie. Oh, I also want to say about the Jeffrey Dahmer case. Most people always said that camera that was hanging on the wall was a dummy camera, but I really think differently. I don't. I really think he was recording and also streaming that video footage. I have close up pictures of his video set, his TV. I mean, and it was possible that he could also hook that up with that camera system.
right. So it's
Also
similar to
recording and also recording. There was a video recording in his television set, so you could also record on video on VHS immediately.
Oh, see, I thought maybe you're talking about something a similar setup to David Parker Ray, where the satellite dish is able
Yes.
to send out
Yes.
signal.
Of course, it was not really. There was not really like a satellite or people could stream in. I think, but there was definitely a possibility to record on VHS. I really believe that. I think that some people have VHS tapes of those victims under horrible circumstances. And also photographs. That guy had like whole photo albums of Polaroid pictures of people being cut open from A to Z, the whole the whole process. And also, Tracy Edwards stated that when he saw those photographs, those photo albums, he actually said that he also saw pictures of children with big bites out of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Wow.
And I only know about two children that Jeffrey Dahmer took. It was Doc Stater and Synthesis Phone. But if he's really saying plural, multiple children, photo albums with children being taking big bites out of them. That's fucking crazy, man. What is happening?
Right. Well, Patrick, do you know if the parts that were removed from Dahmer's victims, did he eat all of those, or did he use some as a tribute or in some sort of occult ritual fashion?
He definitely didn't cannibalize every victim, but he tried to preserve most of them, their bones, but not all. There are some victims, including Eddie Smith, that they didn't found anything. Only maybe some Polaroids, I think.
That's interesting. I'm asking because obviously that the heart extraction and the other organ extraction and everything like that. With the Hurd case, their belief system, and this may be a 4-pi thing, it may just be a Hurd thing. It's okay to kill people as long as part of the body is used as tribute.
Yeah.
But I've been saying that I should also say all of Arliss Perry was the tribute. Just some of Florence Nancy Brown was the tribute, So, but yeah, continue. I didn't mean, I was just a curiosity.
No, doesn't matter. Are you guys familiar with the work of Arthur J. Harris, Jeffrey Dahmer's Little Secret?
Oh.
No.
Those are also there's the 3 books about the Dahmer case, and he's also tried to delve in the Adam Walsh case in Florida because
I've heard of
Dahmer
that.
was there in close proximity where Adam was being abducted. And later they put the blame on another serial killer, on Oda Stool. I mean, it's really, I only get like 3 words in my head. Hand of death.
Right. Hand of death.
Wasn't there some disappearances and deaths around Dahmer when he was in Germany too? That they investigated for? Yeah.
There were also prostitutes being slaughtered there in near proximity of the military base. before Dahmer was stationed and during he was stationed, and it stopped actually when he left.
Mhm.
So there are like I read a lot of FBI files on Dahmer, and there are statements being made that there was some kind of club within the military base with also a high-ranking officer, and there was like a drinking club. But I think there was also some other things there. You have human trafficking, you have alcoholism, drinking, you have of course sex having in brothels with prostitutes, military.
Dahmer was a raging drunk at that time too.
Yeah,
Like
he
there's like
already was.
pictures of him,
I read like reports that his brother said that he was already like an alcoholic and heavily drinking at the age of between 12 and 14 years old. So when his father was saying, "Oh, he just graduated, he was 18 years old. I didn't know he was drunk every day." It's complete BS, man. All the same thing that he's saying, Jeffrey Dahmer. I didn't know he was collecting roadkills. I didn't know he had like a pet cemetery in our back garden. It's all BS.
the dad had to know, right?
Yeah,
The dad admitted in an interview that he had the same impulses.
Yeah,
Dahmer's mother lived in the San Fernando Valley, right?
I don't know.
Later in California, yeah, I think. So she moved to California.
Yeah.
Joyce Flint.
Yeah. I've always wondered about that. There's it was a woman. And you think Dahmer killed any women?
I think he did some really horrible things in the military base at Baumholder, yeah, because there were also other privates, soldiers that saw him completely under blood, and with also with knives with blood on it.
Right.
So, and it wasn't his blood. So where did the blood all of them came from?
Right. I was just wondering. There's this cold case in California from 1981. I'm always wondering about.
Which case? Sorry, what?
Diane Brown, 1981, and her body was found dismembered in San Bernardino. She was last seen last heard from in Riverside County. And she was picked up by 3 dudes. And so it's just something I've always wondered about,
No, it's an unknown case for me. I can't really say. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but it's, maybe we should
wrap it up.
Yeah, but also,
Guys, we had 250 listeners, so thanks everybody for listening. Please share the show. And would you guys have any final words, and where can people reach out to you when you guys start?
I just want to say thank you, Patrick, for coming on so much. We both, William and I, appreciate it. And again, guys, if you guys want to get into doing this research, programtokill.net.
Yes, thank you so much, Todd and Ramsey, that I could be here. And thank you also for adding and filling in important information. Thank you for being a little bit more engaged. But not every podcast is like that.
We unfortunately know. Todd knows a lot. Todd has a mind of like a bear trap.
I have to be able to remember stuff because I'm blind, Patrick. I have macular degeneration and Stargardt's disease.
Well, same for you, William. You also had a lot of facts. You also have a lot of knowledge.
Yeah. I've interviewed so many of these people. Like I interviewed Annie Schwartz, who was first on the scene with Dahmer. Yeah. I've interviewed Kolarek twice. She's really the specialist in Eiler. And I was going through. That's why when we talked 6 years ago, that was when I was going through the smiley face killings. All the victims are obviously men. So I'm like, where is this tie-in? I did in my most recent book, I have a whole chapter on offender typology. So I interviewed you and other people trying to figure out what these guys are thinking. Why is this happening? And it is interesting that Baumeister's drowning his victims. They're putting them in water for some reason.
Yeah. And the mannequin stuff, that's fascinating. Yeah.
still have to see and do independent research into the smiley face killers. But you made like a 3 or 4 hour documentary, right, William?
Yeah, three and a half hours in
Yeah, I still
2017.
have to see that, man.
Yeah, you can see it on my Patreon. Anybody can go to my Patreon, and all you have to do is pay $5. You can watch all 5 of my documentaries. I also post stuff there ad free too. So if you get sick of watching stuff on or listening to things with ads, you can just go to my Patreon. I also post a lot of the videos that were censored or now you can't find on YouTube anymore are on my Patreon where I haven't been censored yet. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so that I've done 2 documentaries on the smiley face killers and 1 book. So my book came out 2023. I actually did a second version because so much happened. A second edition because so much happened. Like this whole stuff that went on in Austin, Chicago, other researchers, just like that guy you mentioned, did a really good documentary.
And that Nashville case.
Yeah, yeah, Nashville. He was what was his name? Riley Strain, right?
Right. Austin, and then the Austin, Texas thing, where the guy was getting his victims, giving them roofies and like throwing them off the bridge into the river.
Yeah, a lot of famous people are covering. It's been covered. The smiley face killings or the Austin killings were covered on Rogan and Tim Dillon, who have way just like international reach. But that Riley Strain case was an international case, missing for 2 weeks, total smiley face killing all the way.
Yeah,
they almost got caught.
I'm also looking forward on the Australian case about Ivan Millet.
Oh yes, that was a great interview. I can't wait to interview him again.
I'm gonna listen to it. You can also find my research on programtokill.net and on Patreon, on BitChute, on Rumble, on Odyssey, on the Internet Archive. I also uploaded everything to the Internet Archive for free, so you just can download every single video and can watch it. So everything is available. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you. Your work really stands alone, man.
Yeah,
it's really impressive.
I hope we can do this again. And let's
for sure.
Let's do maybe 1 time a year at least.
It's been 6 years. I can't even believe the time has passed that so long. Anyway, it's Patrick from Program to Kill. I put links to that, and also Todd Wood works with Walter Bosley at Killafornia, and we've done a lot of shows together. So thank you both very much for your time. And thanks for listening.
Todd, thank you so much.
250 listeners. That's pretty cool. All right. I'm
Bye-bye.
Stream. Bye. All right. Stay there.